Welcome back to Capitol View. We're on track to see the longest shutdown ever. There are lawmakers who say that they're working toward a compromise, but they'll have to wait until Monday, putting us a day shy of the record. Meantime, the White House is moving around money to ensure that the military is paid. But the administration is refusing to tap funds for food aid like SNAP. That means November 1st, a projected 2.4 million people will not get aid from the program. And that's according to the Associated Press. Meanwhile, open enrollment also begins Saturday, and health insurance premiums are expected to jump significantly with ACA tax credits expiring. We talked to Maryland Democratic Congressman Glenn Ivey, and he says that the federal government needs to do more to make sure that families don't go hungry during the shutdown.
They're using hunger as political leverage in their push to get their bill done. You know, I appreciate states stepping in to keep people from going hungry, but the Trump administration is completely and legally obligated to be doing this now, and they're not.
Republicans say they have done all they can to prevent this, and it's up to Democrats to vote with them to reopen the government. Joining us is Dr. Casey Burgat, a political science professor at George Washington University. Professor, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark.
Well, there's talk, Professor, from some members, the Senate may be able to come up or reach a deal this week. Your reaction?
Some isn't enough in the Senate, and then we obviously know that they need the other chamber, the House of Representatives, which has its own political dynamics at play, oftentimes more complicated than the Senate, even though the Senate is a beast in and of itself. So while there's maybe momentum for that talk of a compromise, they're a long way to go.
It sounds like you feel it's a heavy lift. If a deal is reached, Professor, does that mean that one side caved in, or is there a scenario or a path where there's a compromise? We're talking about Democrats. They want to prevent those ACA premiums from exploding, and Republicans say that they will negotiate after a deal is reached. Where can they find common ground if that's the issue?
You just laid out perfectly where the two parties stand. And so a compromise would mean that there is either a promised vote on those ACA subsidies or it's included in the funding package upright. And so depending on how that is negotiated, one side or another will be able to claim victory and the other side caved. But the reality is that this is always going to be the case, that when and if and when the government opens up, and it will, one side will blame the other side for making it shut down in the first place, and they're both going to claim victory no matter what the deal is. If there's ACA subsidies, obviously Democrats have a good case to make there. But if they're promised a vote or that they are guaranteed something later on, they're going to claim victory. But Republicans are going to say, we had that available to them from the get-go. So it's a lot of finger pointing in politics here.
If we don't reach a deal soon, we know that more Americans will suffer. And we will more than likely surpass the previous longest government shutdown, which is 34 full days. Now, which party takes the blame? Is it about who wins the messaging game? You kind of touched on that.
Bingo. It's going to always be messaging here. This is a pox on both of our houses. Democrats are going to get blamed by Republicans. Republicans are going to get blamed by Democrats. But it's just about who loses more. Both parties are going to see their approval ratings sag, as well they should, right? They are fundamentally falling down on their job. But then it's about if their party loses more, then we end up looking a little bit better only by comparison. And I think Democrats are making the calculus here that Americans know that not only is Trump in the White House, but Republicans own majorities in the House and the Senate. It is their job to keep the government open, but we all know it's a little bit more complicated here in the swamp.
Professor, how can we prevent a shutdown from happening in the future? I guess it's written in the Constitution that even if there's some sort of a government disruption in government, that members of Congress will get paid, although their staff members do not. How can we prevent these shutdowns from happening in the future?
Yeah, this is something we need to address, but the reality is that there are so few must-pass pieces of the legislation, and funding bills are one of the biggest, that they're reluctant to make them automatic, right? So you'll hear talk about an automatic continuing resolution. If they don't agree on a full funding bill, then just whatever was passed most recently will continue. Or you'll hear things like the members can't make their paychecks, or that they're ineligible for re-election. All of that will require a constitutional amendment. We know how hard those who are more willing to kill. Anytime, Mark. Thank you.